Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the way we live and work. From automating repetitive tasks to improving healthcare and business operations, AI is driving efficiency and innovation. As technology evolves, AI's role will only grow, shaping a smarter and more connected future. AI is revolutionizing diagnostics, drug discovery, and personalized medicine. AI is crucial for fraud detection, algorithmic trading, and risk management. AI revolutionizes retail with personalized marketing, dynamic pricing, and optimized inventory. AI powers smart factories with automation and real-time data for enhanced efficiency. AI leads in transportation, developing autonomous vehicles, optimizing traffic, and streamlining logistics for safer, more efficient travel. AI transforms education by personalizing learning, automating tasks for teachers, and enhancing accessibility for all students. AI empowers nonprofits by boosting efficiency, optimizing fundraising, and enhancing outreach and service delivery. AI is fundamentally reshaping our world, driving unparalleled efficiency and innovation. As we harness this power, we must ensure AI is used responsibly and ethically, remaining human-centric to augment our potential.
In the meantime, I'll introduce myself. I'm Jenny Hodge, and I am the founder of Campus Upstart. We're part of a collective group called the AI Ready Workforce Collective, and we are a group of collaborators who are promoting AI, the knowledge of AI, and how to use it and how to best integrate that in our day in and day out practices professionally and personally. So this is why we have the summer three-part series kicking off with this workshop. And in the next 2 weeks, we'll have 2 more workshops to dive deeper into some of the AI tools to help everyone use them in a practical way. And you can integrate this in any industry that you guys are in. So whether it's higher ed, whether it's business, whether it's nonprofit, and also like how to do just day in and day out daily tasks with these AI tools. And so with that, I'm also going to introduce my partner and presenter for today, Stefan, and I'm going to chop up your last name. So I'm going to just give it all to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Jenny, for organizing this whole thing. Yeah, welcome everyone. My name is Stefan Youngmichael, and I'm gonna start my screen, sharing my screen now. So just created this small little slide deck. And basically what we are going to talk about, just a really small introduction of who I am and how the AI Lab at Biola ties in and all to those things. I'm going to talk about the AI Lab Biola. Then this workshop is all about opening your minds on what AI is actually capable of doing. Everyone always talks about AI, but nobody really shows it, or nobody is really integrating it. There's just a lot of talks, and you probably already heard about talks about ethics and the moral ways of how to use AI correctly. Well, I would argue that if you don't know what AI is actually capable of doing, then you can't really build a good ethics framework around it. And then we're also going to have some time for Q&A. So let's jump into who I am and who the AI Lab at Biola is. So my name is Stefan. I'm a recent graduate student from Biola University, graduated there with my MBA. And while I was in my MBA program, I was actually part of founding the AI Lab at Biola. And what we do at the AI Lab is we empower students, we empower faculty, we empower Christians in general to be educated around AI, to use AI morally and ethically sound. And we also do some research on AI. But for external organizations, we basically bring our students in and we build solutions for them, or we educate them. So we help internally at Biola, but we also do external, like sometimes consulting work or projects for companies. And yeah, let's start into the current capabilities of AI. So what AI is actually capable of doing. So all of you guys have learned and know about ChatGPT. Actually, this is interesting that the pop-up just came in. They actually just launched ChatGPT agents. So we're going to talk more about AI agents later on. What we are going to do now in this showcase is I'm going to basically blow your mind from step to step to step. So we start with the lowest level. Most of you guys have seen that already, but at some point, I'm pretty sure you're going to be surprised on how sophisticated AI actually became. So ChatGPT, great tool for everything. I don't know how much you use it. I use it definitely more than Google. I barely touch Google. To be honest, this is what I use for everything now. So you can ask questions about it, like let's say, hey, can you search the web and show me how companies are integrating AI into their like business and workforce. And then because we said search the web, it's actually going to go ahead and search the web. Anyone who has used ChatGPT probably ran into an issue of, hey, how do I actually know that if this is correct or not, right? Is this, let's see if it gives us here. So for example, Walmart. So how do we know if this is actually correct what the AI is giving us? Well, in this case, it gives us a source, which is awesome. So what we can do here is we can literally just copy that and we can say, search through this article. So what I did is just I copy pasted the point that I want to check. Then I said search through the article. So we have the article here. What we're going to do now is we're going to use one of the best commands ever invented with AI. We're going to do Command A. On Windows, I believe it's Control A. And what that does is it just copy paste the entire text. You can also give a link, but the text always works better. And so we just copy paste that in here, search through the article, then we put this in parentheses and give me the exact quote that proves this point. All right, and then we just take the point that we want to prove, which is here. We're just going to put it in here. And what we're doing now is we're basically validating if this point is correct or not. Because with the exact quote, we can just take the quote, go back into the source, and then search for the quote. And now we just validated that it's actually in the source. So now you only have to do is to check if the Wall Street Journal is actually a credible source or not. But that was the same issue that was always the case before. All right. So before moving forward, you can bring this whole searching onto a whole new level. So we would like to poll you guys on if you have ever heard about deep research. So we're going to launch a poll now. And then have you ever used deep research? Basically what it is, if you know what it is, then you know what it is. So if you haven't, then just click no.
We'll give you 20 seconds to answer.
All right. So some of you guys have, we got 31% have used it and 69% have not. So deep research is just insane. I mean, it's basically research on steroids, excuse my language. But what you can do is you can just go into we're not going to use ChatGPT for this because it is not the best deep research tool out there. A better one is either Perplexity or Claude. I will show you in a second. But if you want to use it on ChatGPT, basically what you would do is you would just give it the exact same question. So the question that we had here, put it in here, and then you click on Tools, and then you enable Deep Research. What that does is it goes through dozens and dozens of links. So this one just gives you a really, really quick answer, right? It's nice, it works, but it's quick. This one does really thorough research. And in order to do that, I'll show it to you on Claude AI. Claude AI is just a ChatGPT competitor. And what we're going to do here is we're going to toggle on this deep research. So we turn this on, click research. And what is going to happen now is that we are actually using AI agents in the back end. So what is happening is instead of just giving us an answer by going through the database of the chatbot, we're actually spinning up small little AI agents that are doing individual research on each of those things. So what Claude is doing right now is it's actually creating a research plan. So just how you would take any complex task, you would create some type of plan, and then you would follow that plan, right? Some type of roadmap. So this is the same what AI does. Instead of just going ahead and doing it, it creates a plan, and then it's going to go strategically working on those individual points of the plan. So while this is doing it, I want to show you what Perplexity can do in the meanwhile when it comes to deep research. So what I've done with Perplexity is, I'm not sure if some of you guys are Christians here. We are at Biola University. So what I did here is I basically asked Perplexity when toggle on labs, which you can just do if you are here on your Perplexity window, you can just click on this like button right here, and then it brings you into labs. So it's really nice. It costs $10 per month as a subscription. But what you can do here is it brings deep research on a whole new level. So instead of just giving you a text response, it actually codes you data dashboards and gives you all types of connections to the topic. So here we ask for the most compelling and well-supported evidence for the historical evidence and resurrection of Jesus. And then we say, create a data dashboard that includes direct links to all academic sources used, and so on and so on. So what it gave us is this response. All of the claims are proven with some type of, or validated with some type of sources. But what is even crazier is it came up with this entire dashboard. So this dashboard isn't just something it pulled from the internet, it created that, it coded that from scratch. So none of those visuals existed before. It just created all of those. So here you have all of the different sources, and how much it proves that, when it was discovered, what type it is. You even get the link to the sources where you can just directly click on it. Okay, so here you see the bad ways of AI. Sometimes it hallucinates. So hallucinating means that it just comes up with facts, which actually it wasn't there. All right, but I want to show this to you because it even shows the assets. So while running this research request, it literally created all of those different assets here. So all of those pictures were completely, and code was completely created from scratch by the AI model to serve the purpose of this search. All right, so let's see what Claude is doing. It seems that Claude is still presenting or work. Okay, here we go. So it made its plan. And in the meanwhile, it gathered 372 sources in order to ask this one question here. So it's searching the web and it pulled 372 sources, including my Google Drive. So what you can also do with AI, you can just seemingly hook up different tools. So for example, I have my Google Drive connected to it, so it can actually search through my Google Drive when I make any type of requests. So as you can see, AI becomes more and more your assistant that is deeply integrated in your entire infrastructure if you want it to be. Obviously, then we have to talk about security risk and all of those things, but that's out of the scope of this workshop. All right, so we don't really have time to see the result, but you could imagine that if it pulls information from 372 sources, compares all of those and checks for validity and all of those things, that it's probably a pretty good result. All right, so let's go into AI in media, because AI is also insane when it comes to marketing. So this was the research perspective, really short overview. Now we're going to talk about media. So some of you guys might have seen some videos. This video, for example, is completely from scratch created by AI. So none of this is real. I mean, yeah, just look for yourself. What is always stunning about this is just the sheer amount of detail. And you think, well, only high production studios can create some videos like this. Well, actually, it's pretty simple. We literally created it. Not this exact video, but we recreated it. And what that means is, what does it mean for your company, or what does it mean for an individual person? What does it mean for any institution? Well, basically, if you have a mascot now, if you wanted to create some type of animation or some type of marketing video of that mascot, well, you don't need to have expensive camera equipment. Maybe at some point, as of today, you still do, but you can just generate videos. You just prompt it. So let's actually do that. One of the companies that have a really good video model is OpenAI. So if you are in your ChatGPT, if you have the Pro subscription, which is, or the Plus subscription, which is $20 a month, you actually get access to Sora. So here in the sidebar, you can just click Sora, and then it's gonna lead you into Sora and the chat interface. And what you can do here is you can just generate videos. So you go to video, and then you can say, generate a some of those might be a little bit disturbing, but some of the other ones are really, really good. So let's say generate a highly realistic video of a dog running at the beach. All right, so we want to have that in 720p, 5 seconds is fine. So we're just gonna click and send that off. So now it's going to be generated and it's going to pop up in a few seconds in our My Media You can see here some generations that we've done before. So for example, here is a NASCAR driver getting into his vehicle. So completely done with AI. And I mean, you can see that it's not perfect. Sometimes the pixels glitch together, or I think his foot was, yeah, pretty close to the tire there. But you can also, so for example, this one, completely generated by AI. You maybe by the fur, how the stomach moves, you could say that it's not real, but it's going to be hard to actually say if this is real or not. And at some point, this is going to get crazier and crazier because this now it can only generate some some small little clips, 5 to 10 seconds, right? But what if can generate like videos or movies completely from scratch just by a prompt? Well, this is how it's going to look like. It's something called storyboard. And what you can do here is just very simple video editing. But imagine this timeline, instead of just limited to 5 seconds, is actually a minute or an hour. And then you can just add different storyboards. So you can say here, change the scene to a dog. And then you can say, now the dog walks to his friend, right? So this is how you can basically just create the entire storyline, and AI is going to generate the content for it. All right, so our generation is done. So let's see what it was capable of doing. So here's one. It behaves a little bit, yeah, not too bad. This one is a little off since he's not really biting the frisbee, but it's still pretty good. I mean, the water effects here, the water looks great. You can't tell that this is not real. The dog's animations aren't as great. Also, one thing that you always have to keep in mind with AI is it will never ever be as bad as it is today. So this is the worst it will ever be. So how much crazier is this going to get? And what are the implications on us as humans with this? Well, another one that AI can do is music. So there's something called Suno AI. And what Suno AI can do is it can just generate music. Jenny, can you hear sound when I play something like this?
I can't hear the sound.
Okay, I don't think it's playing. Let me just refresh the page. Okay, for some reason it's not playing. Also not too crazy. It's just one of the aspects of AI. If you want to check it out, just go to suno.com. You should get 50 free credits and then just generate some music. So how you can use it is you just go into styles and then you can just say, create a classical piece like Mozart. And then you just click generate and then it's going to generate. So this is going to be completely free since you have the free credits. It's going to generate different pieces that sound like Mozart. All right. So where's all of this leading from a media perspective? Well, it's going to change how we do media. It's going to change how we see it and how we interact with it. But what's also going to change is, what about impersonating people that you are not? Or what about deepfakes? What deepfakes are is basically an impersonation of someone that I don't know or that I do know, but I don't have any right to actually take his content. So let me show you how this could look like. This is some special software that we got access to just for research purposes. And what this software can do is basically illustrate how deepfakes how easy it is to generate a fake article, fake picture, or some fake of anything. So the only thing that you need is a LinkedIn profile. So in this case, I'm just going to take my own, just copy and paste the link in here. And then the AI is going to automatically filter out all of the information that is accessible in my LinkedIn. So all my posts, my descriptions, my resume, all of that stuff. And what it can do now is I can create targeted emails just for that very person. So I can do political persuasion. Why would I do that? Well, not necessarily because I just want to create interest for that. Like if I'm a rogue actor, why would I do this? Because I want to create interest. I want the person to click on a link. So you can see here, I am an AI. So this AI just pulled up a email that is talking about Trump's AI regulatory oversight and is basically making me conscious about something. And I could now fall into the trap of thinking that this is valuable content. I thank him, it might gain some trust, and then at some point he sends me a malicious link, I click on it, and then I have malware on my laptop. But what about images? Well, you can even create some crazy images. Like, for example, we're just going to go walking in an alley, and then you can post those images, right? But now just don't think about, so here we go. And if you aren't, okay, so the clothing wouldn't necessarily fit, but if you don't know me well, this is a perfect representation of how I actually look like. Jenny, is that something where you could think that this is me?
Yes, that is scary.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
That's just crazy how we are constantly surfing on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn, and how these articles can just this is what we get, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the so you can't always believe what you read. You've got to vet your sources and you got to vet, the information that you consume. So I'm really glad that you showed us this.
Yeah, yeah. And now imagine, okay, one person posting this on social media, that's not going to do damage. But what if you have an AI bot army of tens of thousands of bots? They all create their own profiles and they all post the image at the same time. You can basically flood social media with fake information at this point. Here you can just generate fake audio, super easy. You just need an audio snippet of someone's voice. You just upload it and then you have their voice and you can let them say anything you want. And you can also do fake news. So let's say we create some type of fake news. It's just going to create some custom news. And then you have, yeah, that someone accused me of crypto market manipulation. So this is how easy you can literally spin off an entire realistically looking fake article of someone and, yeah, attack his reputation. Obviously, it's not legal, but if you have AI bots and you're somewhere in the background and nobody can really track you down, then yeah, this is a way of how you can damage people through deepfakes. All right. So that's now it's time for our second polling question. So, oh, I actually jumped it ahead, but which of those tools that I currently have shown you, so either the media creation tool or the researching and writing, which one are you more likely to use? All right, so most of you guys, research and writing, 56%, 17% for media. Nobody of you guys said neither. So every one of you is hooked on AI now. Welcome to the team. And you have 28% that would be for both. All right. So this is kind of a little bit our half point. Just another poll question. If you want some Q&A now, if you have some burning questions that you just want to ask now, then you can go ahead and we have a 10-minute Q&A now, or we just have a longer Q&A at the end. So both is fine for me, but whatever you want. All right, sounds good. Longer one, 87%. That's pretty clear. Okay, let's jump into AI and data. So data analysis, pulling data. I already told you that you can easily connect Claude and soon many other chatbots. ChatGPT already has that function, but currently ChatGPT, I can show you, is limited to only. So if you click on the plus one, then you can add from apps and then you can go into your Google Drive. However, the issue there is that you can only select individual items. However, with Claude, you can just connect your entire drive. So that means it has access to your entire drive. And what that means is you can just ask questions like, hey, can you pull the most recent document that I had with X and Y? Can you do a data analysis on this and compare it to some other documents I had over there? So this is really powerful. Okay, so data analysis and AI. What you can do is you can basically submit any type of data file, Excel sheet, PDFs, and it makes data analysis very accessible. It analyzes the data, it compares data, it gives you suggestions, and it even creates data dashboards. So here's an example. We wrote a book which is called What Christians Should Know About AI. And here's the entire PDF of it, right? It's 130 pages. Remember last time you could analyze a document that's 130 pages just like this? Well, now with AI, you actually can. So we download this. And what we're doing now is we just drag and drop it into our field right here. And then we're going to toggle on extended thinking. So it's similar to the deep research thing. It just means that we are using a reasoning model. So if I don't do extended thinking here, then it's not a reasoning model. Then it just gives you an answer really, really quick. Useful for its own cases when you want quick answers and quick response rates. But sometimes you want better responses, high quality responses, but it takes a little bit of time. So let's toggle this on, and then we're going to say, analyze this data. Give me the most important aspects. Let's actually use a different data set, which makes a little bit more sense to analyze. Let's actually take this data from a Bible chat, but you can do it with a book as well. Just the book doesn't really make sense because we don't really have like real data points. Here it's different. This is a Bible conversation of users that use a Christian chatbot. So you can see that there are conversations of a user and then the responses of the chatbot. So we could run data analysis saying, what are they most likely to talk about? What are the users like talking about? How does the chatbot respond? All of those analysis. And if you want to run analysis on your own with like reading the document, it's super, I mean, it's not fun. You have to read through the entire thing, come up with your own analysis frameworks, all of this. Like takes a lot of time. So what we can do now is, as I said, just download it, then drag and drop it into Claude AI. Don't forget to toggle on extended thinking. I think it's only with the pro version. So that's kind of the thing with AI. You always pay monthly. But you can say, analyze this data, give me the most important aspects of this data, such as what users are asking, the bot's response, let's say schemes, and important data for me to know in general. Okay, general. All right. What we're also going to say is also code a data dashboard showing me the data visually. All right, so if we do send this off, you can also submit multiple files, right? You can have a sales year of 2024 and a sales year of 2025, and then just say, hey, compare this. What's my best selling product in this year and this year? What are the differences? You can even go that far that you tell AI, hey, can you just analyze the data and find some key impacts or analysis points that would be important for me to know? So basically put the creativity back into the AI bot. So a reasoning model that you can see here is it's now thinking about its response. So it got 12 seconds already of thinking time. Here you can see that the bot is getting the information from the PDF and it starts reasoning. So it's thinking about its plan again. It's starting to analyze it and it pulls the data from the document. Soon it's going to go ahead after it stopped thinking and or has finished thinking, which is now the case. So here's the analysis, right? So the key findings, 57% are adults. But the craziest part is now it actually is going to go ahead and code us the entire dashboard from scratch using some HTML, so which is just the coding language it chose to use. And after this is done, then we're going to see that those insights it already made is going to be visualized in the data dashboard, because this is cool, but you still have to probably usually present it to someone or you want to show it with someone. And this is not a nice way of sharing it. But this data dashboard is going to be a really nice way of sharing it. And your efficiency of how you do data analysis and how you present data, how you share data is going to skyrocket if you just start using AI for it. We're also going to talk about how you check the data. All right, so here's the data dashboard. You can see that it generated this dashboard. We have 7 total users. We have 70% of them are female. 95% is scripture integration. So this is great. We know that our chatbot, if this were our chatbot, we know that it's really heavily integrating scripture. Here's a pie chart on female male distribution. Here's the different categories on conversations. So you could say you could see that 40% is actually crisis support. So you have the different topics of why people are talking to each other. Age distribution, like you see all of those charts. To be honest, I wouldn't even know how to build this type of chart in Excel. I wouldn't even, I would have to do research in order to figure that out. All right, so now you have all of this. Now the question is, how do we know if the data is actually correct or not? Well, I go with statistical relevance. I checked enough data, often enough, to see that this model usually doesn't make a mistake. That is kind of always how you have to go with this, because if you outsource this to a human, it's also the same thing, right? You say usually this human doesn't do a mistake, so I can trust this like an analyst on this point as well. Obviously, when you use those tools, you have to get the trust. That means that you need to do some sample data and then ask for specific, like you can ask the chatbot on how it got the responses. So you can say, let's say we want to check if it's actually 57% adults. So you can say, check the doc and tell me where and how you found out that this is true. And then give me a quote or reference so I can check it. So this is how you would check it. You don't need extended thinking for this because it already has all of the data. I thought about it. So this is how you can check it. But now, how would you share this data dashboard? So here, now it gives you an explanation. We have to wait. Okay, now I can publish it. But now here's the explanation of why it did what it did. So yeah, if that makes sense, read through it, then you can trust it. If you don't understand it, just ask a follow-up question. Sometimes AI does mistakes too, but usually in my own experience, sometimes I was the one who didn't get it, and I was questioning the AI on something that I should have understood. All right, if you want to share this data dashboard with someone, nothing easier than that. You click on publish, and then you just published it. Publish and copy link, and then here we go. It's all done. So copy link. Now you can just send it to anyone, right? So I don't think I have access to a chat, so I can't send it to you guys. Otherwise, I would just push it into the chatbot. But I can show you that it works by just opening an incognito window and just copy pasting the link in here. And then here we go. There's a data dashboard. Now imagine how long that would have taken you to create this. Not just to analyze it, we would be still reading the document. And obviously, if you do real work when you present something or you base future decision based on those decisions, you should definitely read the document yourself, right? Otherwise, this AI could give you anything. But creating those dashboards, for example, could be completely outsourced with AI.
Stefan, we can share the link with everyone in an email later on.
Yeah, can do that. All right, so let's get into some crazier things. So software development is completely crazy. I can show you what effects AI had on software development. I'm not happy about this chart, but this is just the reality. So this is software engineering employment rates. So just new hires, right? How many software employees get hired? Well, you can see after ChatGPT became pretty famous, you just had this huge fall. And I'm not sure how much it's going to recover from here. So you had a profession, a job that was highly, highly secure, turned into something that seems to lose value, economical value, unfortunately, in a really, really short amount of time. Why is that? Well, because of companies, for example, like Lovable.dev. What you can do here is you can just submit your idea and it generates the software for you. So you can say, build a CRM system for a Christian company, right? And you can give it more details. That's just for showcasing. We've built entirely functioning software from scratch just using this. All right, so if I go ahead and I send that request off, then you're going to see that we are actually working with AI agents now. So AI agents, what this thing is going to do now, this is way more sophisticated than what it was 2 or 3 months ago. So we are already showing you what is on the real cutting edge here. If you would have seen this workshop 2 months ago, it would have been outdated. And in 2 months from now, this workshop might be still outdated, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't use the information here. This information itself is already valuable. So what is it doing? It thinks about how to create this, and now it went ahead and just generated the entire code base. So we have nothing, right? Anyone who knows coding, we have nothing right now. So what we need is we actually need to create the code base. So here it just generated the entire structure of the code base. This in itself is crazy. And it implemented the code into each of those different files. Like all of this code was just generated with AI in the last 30 seconds. And it's perfectly documented in this GitHub repository. And yeah, basically what this is doing is it pulls up different AI agents, and all of those AI agents are working on an individual task. So let's say we have 20 different files here. So we have 20 different AI agents. They pull information from the web and they plug them back in here. So it's like assistants, but just AI assistants. So let's wait until this is done, and then I'm going to show you the probably most craziest thing that will, yeah, I mean, it made me rethink life and how the future looks like. And yeah, it gave me even more reassurance that I need Jesus in my life, but that's a decision for everyone else. So yeah, you can see that those AI agents are really spinning off incredible amount of information, and yeah, I mean, it's just mind-boggling at this point. This was impossible to this was impossible to do a year ago, almost impossible to imagine a year ago, but we came so far. It's just absolutely incredible. All right, so let's check out the preview because it's actually showing us what it just created. So here's the dashboard completely from scratch. It's not done. There's no data backend. None of this really works. But we already have a really solid first start. I mean, this looks great. And now you can just continue working on it, right? You can say, hey, integrate this and this, and then do this and this. So it takes a little bit of more work to make this actually production ready, but as a just proof of concept, great, great. All right, let's get into the most craziest thing that probably is going to blow your mind. Now we are going to see how AI agents actually work. Completely autonomous AI agents that do work fully without any human intervention, because all of those tools still needed a human to type in the prompt, right? Like I had to come up with the prompt and I still have to tell it now what to do. If I don't tell it what to do now, then it doesn't know what to do. Well, that's going to change too. So what this is it's an AI agent, and it will show you how AI agents actually work. So what we can do is here we can say, go to Amazon.com and buy the book, What Christians Should Know About AI. All right, so if I run this agent, I will not touch my keyboard. So my hands are here, right? You will see that this AI agent is going to completely autonomously do this task. So it knows how to open up a browser. It knows how to get to Amazon.com. Now you're seeing the thinking and the logic behind the agent. It can type, right? So you see that it highlights all of those fields. Well, it's not highlighting anything. It's highlighting whatever is clickable on the website. And then it sends this information, text information, to a chatbot, and then the chatbot tells it what to click. So yeah, that's the book. Now it's going to run into an error. It's going to try to log in and do all of those things. It won't work because it doesn't have any passwords. It has no email of me, all of those things. So it doesn't have my user information. It will try, but what you can see, so this is going to change because just like in Google, where you have a password manager and you give your passwords to Google, your AI assistant is going to have access to some type of password manager. And it's basically exactly the same thing. So at some point, those AI agents, just with the right access and tool use, so this is how those AI agents become really, really good if they call different tools. So yeah, but I think this should be pretty convincing that the future of how we do work is going to change dramatically. If we're talking about the speed of development and how quickly all of those things are coming together, then just look at this. This is the speed of AI development. It's a pretty simple chart, but it speaks everything. You have a chart here, which is going to show you the AI capabilities based on benchmarks. Usually humans go around 80% here. This chart is actually outdated, but it still works because it's the same development now, unless that those models now are down here for the new models. But you can see that in 4 years of development or 5 years of development, AI came from being completely useless in those benchmarks. Only ChatGPT-4, right? GPT-4o just 10% correct in this test. Then they discovered reasoning models. Remember, reasoning models take more time to think about things. And then it just skyrocketed. And now it's so Grok 4 claims that it is better in every single field than any PhD student that is specialized in that field. So you have just hyper generalized AI agents that are so intelligent that no human as a generalist could even come close to anymore. Some specialists in their individual fields, yes, they still beat AI models. But from a general knowledge, let's say you're specialized in chemistry, well, you don't know as much about, let's say, sports or thermodynamics or very individual fields. Well, AI models can, because they have access to an enormous amount of data, and they never, ever, ever forget something. Humans forget, AI doesn't. So yeah, that was the entire presentation. We're going to do one more poll, and then we're going to do some Q&A. So after seeing all of this, we were wondering, like, how surprised are you by what AI can do? Was it something you already knew, or is that something that is completely new and you are surprised? All right. So we got 25% who weren't really surprised, 70% were pretty surprised, and then 6% were very surprised. So that's pretty good. All right, awesome. So I think we can start our Q&A now. Jenny, you got to explain how exactly we're going to do this.